Hello my friends and welcome to my channel. Today's water cooler topic will be, well, what's your plan? What's your plan, smart guy? This is an argument that you come across constantly fighting liberals or right-wingers, and basically they want to know, what's your vision for the future? If this isn't going to work, solve all the problems now. It sounds unfair, but it isn't. They just want to know, do you have an idea? And so I'm going to present you my plan. And first I need to present my picture of the world, which is that the world's problems, main problem at least I should say, is climate change. That there is going to come a time quickly where 75% of the world's population can no longer be supported by the systems that have grown such a population. And most climate scientists predict this will be by 2075. The main barrier to immediate action on this front is the nation states that make up the world system themselves. Their interests from their metropoles are so existential. They have such real fear of one another and the military and special operations that may destroy them. And because of this fear, no one can cooperate to encounter or to overcome this threat. So the map that was drawn by the colonial powers at the end of World War I largely blame for the problems of the system today. And I see the world more in groupings of languages. I don't see threats to the world order in nation states because I don't see nation states. China is the biggest threat to America is the refrain that most people say, but America doesn't really exist. The Anglo-American Empire is what exists. Yes, the global community of rich Anglos that get together and decide policy for the NATO hegemony, the imperial machine in the West. And these Anglos, the Anglo nations that make up the heart of NATO, are about 500, 600 million people. They make $60,000 a year on average, and they control the most strategically important sections of the world. North America is a fortress. Australia is a staging ground for the Pacific, and Britain is a staging ground for the Atlantic. And so dominance is assured, and acting scared is not in our interests at this time, especially when there's no threat. And so I think we should act like there's no threat. The main threat that is parroted in the mainstream media right now is the one coming from China, and especially surrounding a potential conquest of Taiwan. Not only could they not do that right now, that it would be impossible to float a sufficient force and then sustain it on the ground, that the US would launch missiles from the ocean in the air, but 1,500 kilometers past Taiwan in the sea, and sink ships that were carrying troops. They wouldn't need to fight. They would just, sink a ship there, sink a ship there, and the Taiwanese will handle it. And so I'm not scared of the Chinese. I think that the Taiwan situation is poorly thought out, that they are trapped by the Chinese are trapped by the second and first island chains, and that Taiwan is only a piece of the first island chain. They can't have Ryukyu, they can't have Japan, and the second island chain is even more of an obstacle. It's even less able to be overcome because of the distance to the mainland and the implication for the other nation states in the area. India, ASEAN nations, Japan and Korea will feel more existential once China has Taiwan. I feel we should come to some rapprochement with them, some kind of concordat, which gives them Taiwan and sets up a conflict in the future where we will be morally obviously superior, and it will be their mistake to make at that point and not ours. But I haven't answered the question. How would I organize the world? Well, I did give the game away. I said languages, yes? And so the Anglophone world, the Commonwealth of His Majesty King Charles III, and the American Republic should become one. The Commonwealth, being the lesser power, should apply for statehood. I believe the provinces of His Majesty's Commonwealth kingdoms should be promoted to kingdoms in their own right, so that they may, as one, apply for statehood. England cannot be above Ontario if they're both applying for statehood, but New York is greater than Wisconsin, if you follow the logic. And then for the rest of the world, we would do the same. We would reorganize the UN along lines of linguistic groupings. So the Latinate in South and Central America, I believe 2 different confederate systems, a Southern Latinate and a Northern Latinate, would be useful. And then Brazil would need to keep its own linguistic group. It's large enough to support that. The Turkish belt across Central Asia should be united. The Iranians, being Perso-Arabs, should be given large chunks of Afghanistan. The African nations should be sorted. In the north, the Arab Ummah should be united into a confederal system. The kingdoms of Jordan and Morocco have claimants who are Sayyid, which means they are descendants of relatives of the Prophet. And they should be put into competition to see who is the new dynastic constitutional monarchy in a united Arab confederal system. The southern part of Africa should be divided into West Africa and South Africa. I think Bantu should serve as the confederal language in the south. I'm unsure in the west. Mandinka or Mantink is my inclination, but French may be so prevalent there that it might be the better pick. These are details, though. I feel in broad strokes the plan is easily visible. Europe will be the big loser of this. Those are nation states too packed in together, and so we will need to buy the French, keep the Germans down, and then assuage the Russians. Thank you for your time.